Well, kids, life's not about the subscribers or the followers or anything like that. Unless you are a high school baseball coach and you want to be way cooler than everyone else. And so with that, congratulations. We have hit 100,000 YouTube subscribers. We are very, very small number away from 50,000 Instagram subscribers. We're over 60,000 TikTok subscribers. So it's awesome. I kind of hear myself in the background of Kratz's computer, so we'll have to see what's going on there. But anyway, big day.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome for everybody. Awesome that we got to 100,000. It's cool. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, and now to hit it and to make it there is pretty awesome. It's been in 2 years, a little over 2 years. I feel like that's pretty good. I don't know how it works, but I mean, I feel like that's pretty darn good for a show that kind of started out of Scott's basement, and now here we are.
For baseball, that's good.
No, I agree. I think it's awesome. So I love the fact that we're there. Congratulations to everybody behind the scenes that people don't know about, and most people only see Scott. But there's people that work real hard behind the scenes. So thank you to all those people, producer lady, Mark, Jeremy, Gab, some of the others, Michael, Olivia, Frankie, a lot of the people that people don't know about. So way to go, team. And hopefully it'll continue to grow from there. And maybe someday we'll see a couple 100,000, 500,000, 1 million. That'd be cool.
Yeah. And for our team shows too, make sure you check those out because we have many of them and just many shows in general. Ken's show, Trevor May's show, Baseball America's show. We got a lot there. So Kratz, are you ready to brag to the kiddos?
I'm an influencer. I already texted the team chatter. They know. I'm a big deal now. My Riz is through the roof. Mac Riz.
Amazing. All right. Well, your teammates might give you a little crap for how you sound right now, but we'll work on that. And right now, let's charge.
Charging the mound.
All right. So what's going on with the Orioles starting staff? They lost 24-2 on Sunday. Yesterday, they got wiped out by the Nationals 7-0. And their pitching staff is in shambles. Brandon Hyde, the manager, was asked if they would consider moving Charlie Morton to the bullpen because he's got a 10-plus ERA and 5 starts, and he said everything's on the table.
Where do they go? The biggest problem is we talked about this whole offseason. They didn't go out and make the moves they needed to make. Mm-hmm. Charlie Morton is at some time, eventually Father Time catches up with him. We love Charlie.
Yep. And
he's had an unbelievable career. But at some point, Father Time catches you, and right now it looks like it's caught up to him. And he's struggling, right? Mm-hmm. Sagano was pitching today for him. He's a guy they were counting on. He's been okay. But Eflin's on the IL, right? Grayson hasn't pitched yet this year. Bradish is on the IL. So they're beat up, and the guys they're counting on aren't getting it done right now. So this is something that everyone knew could be a possibility this offseason. It just stinks that it's coming to fruition because you never want to see guys get hurt. But this is the one thing we said about the Orioles is do they have enough starting pitching? They thought they addressed it with some of the moves they made. With guys going down, guys not pitching the way they're supposed to, they're short.
Is moving him to the pen going to get the gym?
No good, Kratz.
There's some echo. Hello.
Pennsylvania's struggling right now.
Right? Seriously.
With Wi-Fi and I guess with ball, but we'll get to that later. The Orioles are 9-13. They are a half game better than the Rays for last place in the American League East. So you got the Rays at 9-14 at the bottom. Blue Jays are 500. Red Sox are 14-11. Yankees are 14-10. Nobody's running away with anything right now. You're a win streak away.
But the big problem is that the Orioles need to figure it out because I've said this many times. You can't win the pennant in April, but you can lose it, right? So you can get far. Like that's the thing we talk about with the Braves, and we kind of went through it yesterday with the other teams in the National League. Is that the Braves? If you dig a big enough hole, it's hard to climb out because there's other teams that are able to do it. So. The Guardians. The Orioles aren't dead, but they are leaking oil, let's just say, because they need to figure it out quickly because the Yankees aren't going anywhere. The Red Sox aren't going anywhere. The Blue Jays have been better than we expected. And the American League, 3 teams from the Central made the playoffs last year, right? I know the Royals aren't off to a great start, but the West could be that team that grabs a couple spots from you this year with the Rangers, the Astros, the Mariners possibly. I'm just saying there's an opportunity there for a team to steal a wild card spot and take one away from a team that we're counting on like the Orioles. I think the Red Sox are probably better. So it's a weird thing.
It's going
Yeah.
to kill my AL East prediction. And it'll look good.
How are you feeling?
It'll look good.
Kratz, because Kratz, you were the high guy on this team entering the season. And I think all agree that the offense is good. They haven't been amazing, but it's been good. The starting rotation, no?
I think they're bottom half in OPS. They're
22nd
They're more than
in
bottom
BA.
half. Yeah, but they're not even driving it. My thing is they're not. I thought after their struggles, the second half, not any one guy, just kind of a cumulative struggles. Obviously, the poster child for that was Adley. I just think young players, when there's not some type of regression type of thing, when you're with your age, you're going to automatically you're going to learn from those struggles. A lot of these guys never struggled anywhere. College, high school, minor leagues, and now they struggle in the big leagues in big spots. I thought they were going to make the adjustment and just come out gangbusters. I never liked this starting rotation, and I thought the bullpen was going to be fine. Well, the starting rotation is just in shambles right now with injuries, and it's making the bullpen worse because they're being used too much because their starters that I think they were leaning on too much aren't there. But I just can't believe that the offense hasn't gotten going. I know Gunnar started the season late, but I just thought they were really they're just going to bludgeon teams to death. And they haven't done that, and it's actually been worse than average.
Okay. I mean, schedule is a factor here, which doesn't play into this, but OPS plus, you've got ballpark adjusted, league adjusted. Orioles are 108, which is 10th in baseball. So
Okay.
I think.
But see, that to me is making excuses. They're 15th in actual OPS. I don't care about OPS plus.
Yeah, but parks are
adjusted
different.
crap, but that.
But come on.
They're 9 and 13. Or
which park are you playing in when you're playing your game?
Why does it matter? If you're either winning or
No,
losing,
it matters.
It matters. Where your park is?
The other team has to play in that park too.
No.
That's why OPS plus is helpful to factor that in. I'm saying if
they're 9 and 13.
Yeah, but OPS plus helps us be like, not this year's different because they're just awful, but otherwise we'd be looking at a team like the Rockies, like, oh my gosh, they have the best offense every year. It's like, no, they don't, because every game there is 12-10.
The final say in all of this is OPS plus, OPS minus, OPS dash, OPS, whatever you want to call it. They're 9 and 13. That's it. Their starting pitching, I think, has the worst ERA.
It does.
So you can hit all you want. Eventually, if you have the worst starting pitching ERA in baseball, ERA plus, FIP, WHIP, SHIP, DIP, whatever you want to call it, they're 9 and 13.
We're on the same page.
You're trying to justify it with OPS plus. They're not that bad. No, they're that bad. They're 9 and 13.
Their lineup is in my mind fine. Are they the top lineup in baseball?
Well,
right
that's
now?
what a lot of people thought they would be with all these guys. The better question is, did Mike Elias wait too long to trade some people?
That's part of it, and also the entire world looked at their rotation entering the season.
Not one person didn't. A couple people did it
in the front office.
Yep.
And the ownership.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that was a mistake. And I pick and choose my spots. We were bashing it. Not all of us, but many of us were like, what's going on here? Do they think this is going to work? And again, they're 5 games under 500, but this is a very disappointing start. And I don't see the personnel right now with the rotation. Who's saving the day for them in the next month?
Tristan
Grayson better
McKenzie.
come back.
It's too early to make trades.
He was his DFA. They could claim him off waivers.
Sure. Could give that a
Grayson's
shot.
got to get back. Eflin's got to get back. That's started. Bradish got to get back. Let's not forget, Bradish was their number one for
He's
the last
great.
couple years. He's great when he's healthy.
When's he coming back? August?
Yep.
When's Grayson coming back? Grayson was supposed to be back.
We don't know yet.
He had a setback.
That's the problem. What's the panic meter for you?
Listen,
Kratz?
here's the thing, Scott. To me, listen, as far as analytics go, I understand the analytics part of it, and I understand. Listen, I can come up with a stat that says this, that, or whatever I want to come up with to make myself feel better about my team. But at the end of the day, I don't care how many analytics people you are. The proof is in the record.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're 9 and 13 with the worst ERA, go to ERA plus, see what they are. If it's adjusted for all these parks, because the other team's playing in the same park, so they're giving up more runs than they're scoring. So that means they're not good right now. Right now, I like the Orioles. I like a lot of the players on the team, but they're not good right now.
And I think in this case, when we're discussing this, OPS plus does paint a good picture that the offense isn't as bad as, say, their batting average or say, is Camden Yards playing tough or whatever. Just talking about their offense, they're doing better than I thought. I thought they were a below average offense so far. They're slightly above average based on that. And now I think that's why OPS Plus is good. My panic meter is there's no pitching help. This offense, if they feel the weight of, oh man, we got to score 6 or 7 runs a game, it's real. You have to deal with that because there is no help in the future. You're not finding starting pitching that's going to go 6 innings, quality starts for you for its next 15 starts until Grayson comes back, until Bradish comes back. You're not just adding somebody in that's going to give you those quality starts. So the offense, they need to look at themselves and go, you know what? We got to carry the boys now because there's no other way around. So my panic meter is, I don't know what your scale is, but it's in the red because it has to happen now, just like the Astros had to make it happen last year. The difference was the Astros still had some starting rotation pieces that were then learning and improving and getting better as the season went on. They don't have that. It's going to be a tough road to hoe, but the offense has to pick it up. They got to be a juggernaut.
So ERA plus for the Orioles as a team, including bullpen, by far the worst in baseball. 70.
It's not good.
Okay.
Next worst team is the Nats at 83, and the Marlins and A's at 92. 70. It is by far the worst pitching by ERA plus in baseball. If you're watching this later on, you're like, you're judging too much on one stat. We're not. We just mentioned a mix of stats. We went with the classic ERA, the ERA plus. Anyone that watches their games right now is like, this starting rotation is a full-fledged mess, and right now it's the worst in baseball. And there's not necessarily a quick solution for this. Oh, wait, and they're in the AL East. Every team's pretty good. So for me, Kratz, I'm with you. The panic meter's red because there's a chance this team doesn't make the playoffs in what should be the prime window of contention for their core. This is the prime window. We all agree, right?
Yes.
This is it right now. These few years that we're in are the best years for the Orioles core that they built up for a 7-year tank job to get to this point. It's a problem.
Yep.
Okay. Just wanted to throw it out there.
Yep.
Make sure we were acknowledging it because I feel like we got to a point yesterday where panic is starting to set in. And yes, they might put Charlie Morton in the bullpen for now. Anyway, coming up next, let's
Is that
talk.
the answer, though?
What?
Is putting Charlie Morton in the book because you still got to cover those innings.
Do you want to throw him out there right now with a 10, 8, 9 ERA and 5 starts? Every start he's made right now is 4+ runs.
I don't know. Who do you have to come in for him?
He's not coming out of the bullpen and going, I found it. That's not happening. So you're throwing him out there when someone else lays an egg. Pun intended. When someone else lays an egg, you sit there and you go, all right, well, I guess we need to eat some innings. Chuck, 41 years old, go get that body loose, and we're gonna sling the rock up there for your 70 to 90 pitches. Like, I don't think he's not at the point in his career where he's going to find something in the bullpen. And you can't go get an inning out of him. Like, to me, keep in the rotation because you don't have that many other options.
Agreed. Let him figure it out. And if he doesn't, then at some point you have to make a tough decision.
Cut him.
I didn't say that. I just said you got to make a tough decision.
What's the threshold when you're in a competitive division and now you've dug a hole? How many more starts, if they keep looking like this, do you go? Because he's done 5. They've all been bad.
You have to see if you have someone else. First, usually with veterans, they try the IL. Oh, he's got a
Anal fissure.
whatever. Hamstring, forearm tightness, shoulder impingement, whatever they come up with, right? Boil, turf toe, I don't know. Whatever they can come up with. And then they let them try to figure some stuff out but they got to have a replacement. Who's the replacement? I don't know who they have in Norfolk in AAA. See, that's the problem is you just can't say, oh, we're going to throw him in the bullpen because you got to have somebody that's a replacement. I don't know who that would be right now.
Trevor Rogers is back soon.
Okay.
I think he's the first one that would be on the way back.
Okay.
Great. It's one.
He's on a rehab assignment starting today, I believe.
It's not like the Phillies. It's not like the Phillies who, Christopher Sanchez goes down yesterday with the forearm pain, whatever, this thing you never want to hear. Ranger Suarez, I think, just threw 5 innings yesterday in a rehab start. The Orioles aren't at that spot. And the Orioles didn't start with a 6-man, 7-man rotation like the Phillies have. The Orioles' top prospects are not pitchers. You're not just making another Grayson Rodriguez. That's why you add the Max Fried. You add the Corbin Burns. I wouldn't even have been against them adding 2 frontline guys. One in a trade, one in a free agency. But they didn't.
Jesus Luzardo.
Huh.
Were they in the running?
Available.
Apparently not.
Did they not have the prospect capital that the Phillies had? Just
they
moves
did
like that this past offseason.
But they're, I don't know.
I mean,
we need to get Mike Elias on here and ask him because he's the only one that has the answer to these questions.
Yeah. Morton's making $15 million this year. Shigano's making $13 million this year.
Well, remember their big sign was Tyler O'Neill for the outfield.
Right. Not hating on that. Fine. But my point is.
But they had guys like Hurstead and all these guys that could play the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
they spent $28 million on Morton and Shigano.
Okay.
I'm not hating on Shigano. He's actually been okay. He's fine.
He's been one of their better starters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they thought that Morton would actually be the guy to help rack up innings for them right now, which they really need because they do have a lot of players down, a lot of pitchers down. So anyway, let us know your thoughts. If you're catching this afterward, drop a comment. Susan Slusser talking Giants. They're in a much better spot. Next. All right, let's hit Hungry Root. And right now, AJ's been texting us his meal plans. So this is your 1 minute to let us know what's going on.
I'm just waiting for you guys to post anything you cook because I cooked this today, and it was awesome. It was chicken, vodka, rigatoni.
Oh, look at you!
Something. Yep. Where are you guys at, Scott and Kratz? Look at that.
I've sent in
It
photos.
was delicious, by the way. HungryRoot.com/FT, code FT, 40% off first box. I mean, look at that. It's got the protein. It's got a yummy sauce. It's got a little carbs for you for when I run that marathon later.
Good job.
It was delicious.
Good job. Marathon. Kratz has the snacks. And you can take advantage of the offer that AJ's talking about right now for a limited time. 40% off your first box, plus a free item in every box for life. HungryRoot.com/FT, code FT. HungryRoot.com/FT, code FT. If you want to post a picture after you get something, go for it. You can see all the variety on the screen right now. If you need help finding that new cool snack, they do it for you. Again, HungryRoot.com/FT, code FT. Let's do a stat. This one's sent in by AJ. This is AJ's break. Not only has Jacob Wilson not seen ball 4 this year, he hasn't even seen ball 3.
This guy's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. He hasn't even got to 3 ball count. Everyone's like, he hasn't walked. You can't walk if you don't get to 3 balls first. People used to say I wasn't and I wasn't. He's in 330. What do they want? He's in 330. He's got an OPS of 800. There's different ways of doing it.
Should pitchers be...
Pitchers know this.
So then why are they throwing so many pitches in the zone or around the zone?
Because he hits them all.
So shouldn't they just be testing him to see if he'll actually take walks?
Pitchers throw strikes.
This was the Javi Baez thing for years. And then eventually they were like, yeah, let's actually just throw sweepers that are like 4 feet away from the zone and he'll swing.
It's hard to do. It's hard for big league pitchers to throw pitches far enough out of the zone for dudes who are sick contact, like Jacob Wilson, like Javi Baez in his prime. Like, it's just not in their DNA to be able to do it. It's like when you have to go upstairs on a guy that's super tall, you got to go up, like higher than high is what guys would say. Like, it's hard to do because you've been grilled so much, just throw the ball over the plate. And, hey, he's taking advantage of it. 330?
Yeah.
That's legit.
And only 4 punchies, too, by the way.
132 OPS plus. He's been great. San Francisco Chronicle senior baseball beat reporter Susan Slusser back on the show with us on Foul Territory. Susan, great to see you and fun to cover a Giants team that is very relevant right now. So how are things looking?
Yeah, they're interesting. They're very interesting. They look like they're decent. You guys know they're in probably the toughest division in baseball. So they're going to be lucky to sneak into a wild card spot, but they would take it after several years of missing out on the playoffs. They look like they've got some interesting strengths and some pretty glaring weaknesses. So they'll get better, I think, because they do have some injuries that could help when they get somebody like Gerard Encarnacion back. But the Buster Posey era, we've talked about this before, is just going to be kind of nonstop a story, good, bad, or indifferent. And so far, it's good.
Let's not go to the negative things first, but let's take the positive and spin it negatively. They have the strengths. They have these strengths. What are these strengths that they already have do you feel like are going to kind of level out? Like maybe playing to the peak of their positivity?
Well, the one thing that probably will come down certainly some is the bullpen has been incredible. They've had one blown save that's resulted in a loss this year. They've had 4 blown saves. They won 3 of those. That was just Sunday. They are 11-1 when leading after 6, 7, and 8 innings. I mean, those numbers will come back a little bit to earth, but this is a team that's built on pitching and defense. And when those things are consistent, I don't see much of a change there. Maybe with the pitching, the starting pitching still has room to get better for sure. But the bullpen's been terrific. And the defense, I think the defense, barring injury, should be really solid all season. And that is a great fundamental kind of thing to have for your core strength.
Oh, it's Buster Posey. He's a former player. He actually looks at things and is like, oh, man, these fundamental things matter. It helps you win games. It's not fantasy baseball. Yeah, it's weird how that works. But a guy they're counting on, and I put him as one of my superheroes yesterday. We did a superheroes and villains. Susan, I know you're into the Marvel and DC universe big time. So I said she's like, what's Marvel? Jung-Hoo Lee is off to an unbelievable start. Is this the player they thought he was going to be when they signed him last year? I know he was injured and missed most of the year, but is this the guy? And can he keep it up? Because he's got 940 OPS. Can he keep this up with the great defense in the outfield?
I honestly, AJ, I think he could get better. He's just learning the league. He's still facing mostly pitchers he's never seen before. He only played in 37 games last year before he got hurt. The question was, would the skills from Korea translate here? And the Giants thought all along, great contact guy, great bat-to-ball skills. Somewhat reminiscent, I'm always hesitant to say this, but reminiscent of Ichiro. I mean, you guys have seen the swing. You guys have seen how he runs. Sort of an apt comparison, and that was his favorite player. Idolized him, modeled himself on Ichiro. But I think he only gets better as he learns the league. He obviously can make adjustments. He was not quite this player last year before he got hurt. The biggest thing to me is he got hurt slamming into a wall last year. He is showing no fear defensively either. And he's made some great plays up against the wall, diving. He's really pretty close to a 5-tool player. He's even got some pop. Look at that.
Do those count, though? They're in Yankee Stadium. Do those count? Scott says park factors in, and if you hit them in certain parks, they don't count. So do those really count as homers?
I suspect they count especially because it's going to even out with Oracle Park, which is going to take a lot away. So that's the beauty of baseball. It all evens out eventually, you hope. But yeah, he makes a name for himself at Yankee Stadium. That shows you something too. That's a little bit. He's got some flair, He's got the little bit of the K-pop look going on. Big smile, big personality. He could be sort of a star at some point.
I think people are forgetting they're paying him $100 million too. So they kind of need him to go out there and produce the way he's producing. But a guy they're not paying $100 million, Wilmer Flores. I get it. His numbers aren't there, but he's a guy coming off the bench. He's a guy that plays his role. We were talking about how clutch he is. Is there any way a team like the Giants, lets a clutch player like Wilmer Flores, who essentially only hits go-ahead or game-tying home runs when he hits homers?
Well, it's interesting because if he hadn't had a player option for this year, I'm not sure he would have been back, but he's been such a steady presence for the Giants since he's been there. He's really quietly a team leader. He is not a big personality guy, but he has just got this effortless cool that everybody kind of looks up to him, respects him. The Latin guys love him. And he produces. He drives in runs. He's probably not going to be a 300 hitter. He's not going to be a Gold Glove first baseman. But he can hit in big situations. He can come off the bench. He can DH. He can do all those things that are much more difficult for a younger player to do. And that's probably what they would have been looking at had they, had the option to let him go. He's really been, last year he did not have the good numbers because he was hurt. Now we see what a healthy Wilmer Flores can do. And I actually think that the numbers will probably, I know I sound like super optimistic about everybody, but he's hit a lot of balls hard and he's had some bad luck. I think the numbers actually are a little bit lower than where they should be.
Another Buster Posey thing. Oh, veterans off the bench. Those matter too. It's weird. It's weird, Susan. It's weird how sometimes it goes full circle.
He was also there under Farhan, AJ, but
I know. But we'll give Buster credit, okay?
Okay.
He signed Willie Adames. He was supposed to be kind of their big signing this year. He hasn't gotten off to a start. Now, I watched some of the Giants games. He's still smiling. He's still laughing. He's still engaged with his teammates. What will it take to get Willie going? They have to give him a standing ovation like the Philly fans did to Trey Turner. I mean, what's it going to take for Willie to get going here?
I think he's still in that I'm with a new team. I signed a big contract, like even subconsciously trying to do too much. You've been through it, AJ. Lots of guys when they go to new teams, particularly when it's a high-profile deal.
Particularly the Giants,
Yeah.
Susan?
It does tend to happen with the Giants. I don't know why. The Barry Zito was the best example all time of that. He goes from the A's where he'd won a Cy Young to the Giants, and he changed everything. He changed his mechanics. And the Giants were like, wait, what did you do? And he was like, well, I feel like I have to be better. And they were like, no. We signed the guy. You were the guy we wanted. Why are you changing stuff? I don't think there's anything to that level, but I think it's subconscious. I think you're trying to, prove that you are worth that deal. You're trying to impress a new fan base. You're trying to show your new teammates what kind of player you are. And I do think that plays a little bit of a role. But you're right. The personality is off the charts. Great. Like as advertised, maybe even better. He's a plus no matter what he's doing. He's solid in the field. He works well with Chapman. Chapman loves him, and Chapman's, pretty much the main team leader. So it's all good. And at some point, stop me if you've heard me say this like 4 or 5 times already. At some point, he is going to get going. I mean, he's Willie Adames. I don't think anybody's worried about him at all.
Who's the unsung hero on this team, though? Who's the guy that we don't know if we're not watching all the Giants games that we should be looking at?
Hayden Birdsong for me, who was in contention for the 5th starter spot, could have won it, had a great spring. Landon Roop also had a great spring. That was a kind of a toss-up. Landon Roop gets the 5th spot. He's been very good. Hayden Birdsong goes to the bullpen and has been phenomenal. They've used him for 3 innings. They've used him for an inning. He has been lights out almost every single time out. Just very little big league experience and completely unfazed. And if they needed him in the rotation, I think he would plop right in and be just as terrific. So keep an eye on that. If there's continued underperformance in other spots or an injury, Hayden Birdsong's probably right in there.
Question from Cole in our chat. When do you think Kyle Harrison will be up?
I think Kyle really needs to put in at least a good, strong half a season in Sacramento. He was just so off even last year. This spring, he was not, guys like Birdsong and Roop have moved ahead of him on the Giants' radar. Carson Seymour, Carson Wisenhunt might be trending right around near Kyle Harrison. It's not a gimme that he will be back up this year. He's got so much talent, and he's a local kid. When he's right, he is a legit big league pitcher. He just hasn't been quite right. So he needs to figure it out. The Giants certainly are rooting for him. They believe in him. I think we will see him at some point, but it's definitely not a given.
Wait, I thought he pitched for the Giants, not the A's. Why is he in Sacramento? Oh, wait, that's right.
I see what you did.
What are the reviews? I want to know. What are the reviews on Sacramento? You're in the Bay-ish area, and Sacramento's not in the Bay Area, but it's a, what are the,
I've been up there. I was there for the opening series. Yeah, it's a very nice minor league stadium.
Well, it is now. It better be.
Yeah. They made some nice improvements, but it holds 14,000. And yeah, they're drawing about what they were in Oakland, maybe a little bit more. But the attendance is down from that first game against the Cubs. Sacramento was sort of pitching this as, we're going to show we deserve an expansion team at some point, and they're really not doing that to date. And it hasn't even gotten hot up there. You guys know it goes over 100 pretty routinely during the summer. So Sacramento might be blowing an expansion chance here. It's nice for what it is. They've done as well as they can, but visiting players are kind of like, why are we playing in a minor league stadium? Like, why aren't they in Oakland? Complicated questions to do with politics mostly. The city of Oakland really dropped the ball on that, but that it's got new leadership. I think Major League Baseball might want to investigate going back to Oakland with a new mayor in charge and see if they can get something done there, because this isn't just, who knows what the fans do there, probably don't come out in full force, but this is just not a big league situation. There's already a team playing in a minor league ballpark through not through choice. This is through choice, which to me is just a little nutty.
Is there any indication that a conversation could open up again? I mean, I'm not dialed in on the political scene out there. Has there been any public Q&A where the new mayor's like, yeah, maybe?
No, there's a lot of other things I think that Oakland needs to get sorted out. I think this would have to come from MLB or the A's or something. And, there's no rumbling of that. But I will tell you, people from other teams, scouts, executives, all kind of wonder, what are we doing here? So, keep an eye on it. The really interesting situation, as you guys were just alluding to, like with Jacob Wilson, Tyler Soderstrom, now they've called up Nick Kurtz. The A's are interesting. They're not a bad team. They're in a not great division. What happens if they're in a playoff scenario? They can't play in a 14,000 seat stadium. So where do they go then? Back to the Coliseum? Oracle Park? Like, there aren't a ton of options where the Sacramento fans could still go see them. And I can't see the union or the owners saying, yeah, we're going to give up a lot of playoff revenue so you can keep playing in this minor league stadium.
Yeah. Let's go A's. Let's go A's. I want to see it. I want to see this.
Every year.
Susan, I'm in San Francisco this weekend. Are you going to say hi to me? That's all really I want to know.
We'll see how the rest of this interview goes, AJ.
But we're done, so this is it.
Oh, we're done? Oh, well, forget it then. Nope.
Okay. Perfect. That was exactly what I expected, Susan.
I always love seeing AJ. I love seeing AJ. We've got a long history.
We do. We have a very long, interesting history. Good for me, bad for her. What do you want me to say? She wrote bad things about me in that green paper she used to write for.
What?
I'm just kidding. She's always nice. Susan was always nice to me. Susan was always fair.
I still write for the green paper. I don't write anything bad about you anymore.
Anymore, see?
Now she likes your it's a different performance now. It's on your show.
Listen, I've told her many times. I appreciate it. She was always fair to me.
Mm-hmm.
If she wrote something, she would come ask me about it. And before she would write, that's all I ever ask. If you're going to write something about me, give me a chance to respond. I'll give you my side of it. And if you want to write a bad article about me, go ahead. Fine. But at least give me a chance to respond.
You and those A's teams, the Hudson Mulder Zito A's teams, you had some interesting battles.
Yes, we did. And we ended Moneyball, Susan. So I need a movie. Thank you.
That would be kind of fun. Actually, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
If they made a movie about me, a lot of people would be very unhappy. So
they're going to make a sequel one day because they're going to be like, they never won anything. And they have the biggest disaster, travel, whatever you want to call this whole business ordeal over the last few years situation. So it was not all roses. All the people that followed that
Susan,
story.
You can buy me garlic fries this weekend. How's that on Saturday?
I think the other way around.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I checked both baseball reference pages for salaries, and I feel like AJ's got your back.
Susan, you didn't see the San Francisco Chronicle listed there.
No, it was not listed, and I was like, wow, that could be really good, or maybe not so much. I don't know, but anyway, have fun. We'll get the report from AJ after he sees you this weekend. But thanks for stopping by.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you. That's Susan Slusser. Check out all of her work in the San Francisco Chronicle or online. Hey, by the way, we're only 4 weeks into the season, and already, like Susan said, and she knows a lot of people, she's talking to everybody in the business, and they're like, yeah, maybe they should call the mayor of Oakland.
I mean, that's amazing what she just said, by the way.
It is.
That is amazing what she just said, that they should go back. Kratz, what do you think about that? They're like, maybe we should go back to Oakland after all the negative stuff that they threw out there? In Sacramento, guess what? You ain't getting an expansion team.
No.
That I don't know. I don't know if they won't or not. I mean, this isn't really Sacramento's baby. John Fisher's doing all this stuff. I don't think they're going to, but I'm not saying I'm not saying they've dropped the ball yet.
They made a mistake by doing business with the devil, and this is definitely going to hurt them because they're going to look at these numbers and be like, we didn't get much of a turnout here. Why would you be in the running, right? It's one of those things where it's like it could help you or it could hurt.
But they also didn't brand with Sacramento. That was one of the things the fans are complaining about. They never used the name. Why would you not say we're the Sacramento A's for a couple years and try to get the hometown behind you? Instead, they're like, oh, we're just the A's. We don't want to talk about it.
Let me give everyone a little advice from someone who knows the league pretty well. Number one, they will use these numbers against you. Hardcore. Number two, when they're looking at teams on the west portion of the country, because they want to do one east, one west, they are most likely not looking in California. They have a lot of teams there. They want as much money from the public as possible. California is going to battle them on something like that. It's a fact, right? Mm-hmm. There are other states that are starving for a team or that are going to play ball with them on giving them a lot of money. That's a fact. That's just how the business of it works. The number one thing that they look at when they're evaluating teams for an expansion franchise is, what is it? Number one thing.
Oh, TV share.
No, higher than that. That's up there, but higher than that. Public money.
Oh, yeah,
number one
money, of course,
is public money. Is the number one factor. They start there, and then they start working their way down. It's a fact. I actually spoke to someone very in the know on this stuff 6 months ago about it. They said they gave me like a checklist of maybe 5 things. I actually wrote it down. But that was number one. He said that's the number one thing. Public money. I think 2 was real estate. Then we start getting into market size and all of that. So just keep that in mind. It's a biz, and we are the ones to tell you the facts.
But you also get one shot, one opportunity. And Sacramento is.
They should have told
vomit
them
on
no.
Sweater,
yeah.
mom spaghetti.
They should have vomited on the owner's sweater. Yep. Spreading rumors. Jon Heyman reporting that the Cubs are going to try to extend Kyle Tucker before he hits free agency. Although it says maybe after the season. So that's a pretty small window. Do you think that they're going to entertain
You got to do it now because the closer he gets, the bigger the money gets, especially
also,
if he keeps having a better year.
Do you see what he's doing?
That's what I'm saying. He's having a great year, so he's going to be like, I'm July. It's August, and they want to extend me. Guess what? The number just keeps going up and up and up.
You see that game last night?
They should have done. That was a crazy game. They should have done it before the season. What they should have done is they should have, when they traded for him, said, "Hey, here's a crazy number. Let's get this done." But they didn't.
Yep.
And now the number keeps going up
with performance and with Vladdy Jr.'s contract.
And Cub fans are going to be clamoring for him to have to bring him back if he continues at this pace. They're going to be like,
if he's top 3 in MVP voting, oh my gosh, you're not just signing. Like if they're saying, well, we'll sign him before the free agent period, no chance. There's so much value in a guy that makes it to free agency, getting to test the free market, getting to test what else is out there. And this dude has been doing everything for this team right now, and he's worth every penny.
All right, so let's go off a number that is utilized by front offices. They have many of them their own proprietary format. I'm giving. Well, what do you want me to go off of?
Not WAR, because
Okay,
WAR. I
fine.
sent you a WAR thing last night. It was brutal.
But what do you want me to go off of?
He's good. He's really good.
I know, but what do front offices like to work with?
WAR.
All encompassing.
Whatever
numbers.
they can manipulate to make the player worth less, that's what they want to work with.
Right. Well, he's top 5 in WAR this year.
Yeah, as he
Judge,
should be. He's a
Tatis.
really good player.
Yeah. It's going to cost a lot.
I mean, he has Judge, Witt.
No, it's so
it
right
ain't
now.
got
I mean, it's
great
early.
Yeah.
Judge, Tatis,
Oh, yeah.
Corbin Carroll, Pete Alonso,
Yeah, he's
Kyle
freaky.
Tucker.
Okay, yeah.
Pete
All those guys are
Armstrong.
raking.
Yeah. Pete Armstrong 6.
Pete
He's
Crow Armstrong.
defensive.
Yeah. Well,
And
he's
stolen
hitting.
bases.
And he is hitting. I mean, he's, I think, in the 800-ish range
Is he?
OPS, but he runs and he is an incredible defender.
He is.
Incredible. Really fun to watch. So, anyway, we'll keep an eye on Kyle Tucker. What's the number right now? What's the number that
It's got to
he
at least
can't
start with a
turn
3.
down?
It's got to start with a 3.
No, it's at least in the 4s.
In the 4s?
At least, yes.
Wow, good for him.
It's at least in the 4s. Because he's pretty young. He's a young-ish free agent. It's not Soto level or even Vladdy level, but it's close.
Okay.
He's 28 years old. He turns 29 in January.
He's going to get it's going to be a 10 to 12 year deal.
Right. And he's getting at least $40 million a year.
Wow.
There's players
Okay.
that are higher than that, and
Okay.
most of those
I
players
believe you.
never get to free agency.
Okay.
450. 450 is my number. I think
10,
they'll probably
450.
10 4. No, I think it'll probably be like 13 450. I don't think he'll reach the AAV. The Cubs will want to spread that AAV out a little bit. I just think he's younger than some of the dudes that hit free agency, but not Vladdy and Soto age. So to me, I think it's right in that 450 range, spreading it out. 13 sounds like a long time. I get it, he'd be 41, but you're just thinning out that amount of money.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I get what you're saying. I mean, you add the years on the back end, so you can take less of a luxury tax hit. It's what many teams do, and fans often get confused as to why they're signing a guy into such an old age, and you're like, because it helps them.
It breaks it up
on the short term. What do we think about this team? Last night, that was the game of the night, right? Unless I'm missing something. I mean, there were some other decent ones, but that was the game of the night. Dodgers, Cubs, back and forth battle.
Cubs have had a couple of these where we're winning, we're losing, we're winning, we're losing, we're winning, we're losing.
Diamondbacks.
Their bullpen.
Last Friday. Yeah.
Bullpen, yeah.
Bullpen's a problem.
Well, Dodgers bullpen's been bad the last week or so.
Yeah. Tanner Scott gave it up yesterday.
Mm-hmm. A home run into the one park. It was a home run in one park.
For the basket shot for that was Amaya. Yeah, yeah.
Here's my thing with the Cubs is I think they're beating good teams. They have played only it feels like they're only playing the Dodgers. They're done with the Dodgers after this series for the rest of the year. And they have held their own. I know they got swept out of Japan, and I know the bottom of their lineup looks like it's meh. But there's guys that are stepping up, and to me, they're in every single game. Even when their bullpen is blowing it, they have been playing really well. Are you asking me if it's sustainable? Absolutely not sustainable. You cannot have a bullpen that struggles the way that they do on a night in and night out basis and say, oh, we're going to win 92 games. They have to have guys that can settle the game down, not just in the 8th and 9th inning, but it has to be able to do it on a consistent basis in the 6th and 7th to get to the 8th and 9th.
And by the way, so Kratz, does this mean that your Milwaukee pick is out and you're saying the Cubs are going to win?
My Reds pick. I had the Reds winning the division.
Oh, either one.
Would you like to make a do-over?
No, not yet. Not yet. I get it. The Reds aren't looking great. I think the Cubs are playing some of the best baseball out there because they're playing against really good teams. That bullpen is shaky. I love their starting rotation. I know Shota got hit a little bit last night, but he's been solid. They lost Steele. To me, Craig Counsell's going to have to do his magic with that bullpen.
I will say you're spot on with the schedule. It's been a gauntlet,
Yeah.
right? The one team that's not great is the A's, but Dodgers, Diamondbacks, A's, Padres, Rangers. Now, Dodgers. Where are we here? Yeah, Dodgers
Easily
again.
the toughest.
Padres, Diamondbacks. Now we're in the Dodgers. Okay, and then the Phillies are coming up. But there's a stretch in May starting on the 12th. 3 against the Marlins, 3 against the White Sox, 3 more against the Marlins, 3 against the Reds, 3 against the Rockies. They've got a really, really soft May schedule.
Why'd you put the White Sox in there and the Rockies? They're good. I wore my purple for the Rockies today. You'll know why later.
If it was a league with just those 2 teams, you would say they're really good and they're really bad. But there's 28 others. So last thing here, just because this has been an ongoing battle with me and MLB.com, I had to go to a different site because I originally went to check the schedule, and the glitch is back. It goes from March to May.
No April?
The glitch is back. I just posted it in our chat.
Wow.
The glitch is back. If
No
you go
April,
to the web version of the schedule, it's not the calendar, it's the list. It might not be for everyone, but I'm in Google Chrome, and I started looking, and I'm like, this is taking long. This is looking weird. March 31st. Skips to May 1st. So instead of a leap day, we still have a leap month.
Okay.
Just wanted to throw that out there because last time we did it, it did get changed pretty quickly after.
Sometimes you want to skip months. Everyone has a bad month, even MLB.com.
That. Right. Hey, Braves had a bad week and a half. They wanted to skip March. But anyway, let's talk White Sox and a little bit of Cubs with Jon Greenberg next. Hey, did you guys see Paul Skenes and his Mike Trout encounter?
Mm-mm. They said hi to each other?
They did say hi to each other.
Oh.
That's an idol. So Alden Gonzalez, Orange County's own Paul Skenes, was a big Angels fan until the moment he got drafted. He met Mike Trout today. He did not tell him he grew up watching him, but they did chat. Said it was a cool moment for him. And Skenes is starting at Dodger Stadium on Friday. Cue the Dodger fans flooding social media saying he's a Dodger. They do that.
Why can't he be an Angel?
He could.
The Dodger fans flooded Wrigleyville, and that didn't work out so good for him yesterday.
No. That was a great game, though. Man.
He was.
Paul Skenes, an Angel in 2030? Will Mike Trout be an Angel in 2030?
How many more years does he have left?
Trout, a lot.
Sheesh.
I want to say 6 or 7.
7?
Something like that. Is it 7?
I thought it was 7 more.
Yeah. But cool for Skenes, meeting an
Yeah,
idol.
It's cool. It's always cool when you meet your hero. Sometimes it's not cool. When you
Sometimes they say don't meet your heroes. Trout's a really
yeah, but
good
I
dude.
mean, listen, as a baseball player, when you get to meet your hero, most of the time they're pretty good. Especially when you're another player, fellow player, they usually are pretty cool to you. So, especially when you're as good as Paul Skenes. If I'm Mike Trout, I want to be as nice as I can to him. So maybe when I face him in the All-Star game or down the road, he throws me a heater and I can hit it.
You really think that's going to happen? Is that a thing?
No, but it could be.
You wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do what? Be nice to somebody so I get better pitches? Yeah, hell yeah, I would.
What about the reverse, though? If, like, are you going to call a heater because you're like, oh, I met this kid.
No.
Let me just call a
No.
nice cookie heater. No.
No, I'm not doing the
In the All-Star game. No.
the All-Star game is
Hey,
different.
what was that guy's name? Bender? Where he just telling everybody what the pitches were coming, the minor league kid?
Oh, Derek. Right? Wasn't it Derek
Mhm.
Bender,
The Twins guy?
Twins guy? Yeah. That still hasn't been resolved, by the way, because it was the one game they weren't taking video of. So it's a he said, she said, or whatever.
Why weren't they
He
taking
said, he
video of
said.
that game? Is it like one of those movie conspiracies where they went back and erased the hard drive just for that one game so nobody can prove it?
That's what's going
One
on.
of the-
That's what I read.
But if you just
One
whispered
of the
it to the hitter,
dads-
nobody would know anyways.
One of the dads
Multiple.
didn't set up Game Changer, didn't set up the Mevo camera so that they couldn't get the video of that game.
All those dads work in the
videos
MLB
somewhere.
league office. All right, we've got the Athletics' Jon Greenberg back on with us, and unfortunately, we're going to start talking about the White Sox here to start. AJ on the call this morning, John was like, "Talking to John about what? What are we going to say about the White Sox right now?"
Great point.
We cover every team, so John, what should we talk about?
Oh man, that's a good one. I mean, I would probably talk Cubs maybe a little more than White Sox right now in Chicago. That's just my just some editorial advice. The White Sox are 5-18, which is probably about they're ahead of the pace from last year, so they got that going for them.
Better than who?
They're better than the Rockies. That's why I wore my purple today. They're better than the Rockies.
I think that was the rejected tagline for this White Sox season. They went with the 100.
Better than the Rockies.
Right. Better than the Rockies was the other one.
Oh my
But
God. John,
now that on this show, John, on this show, before AJ says anything, on this show, AJ needed a one shot for this comment. He said, they cannot be worse than they were last year. They cannot be. And I said, maybe statistically, like in the win-loss column, but is this team worse than last year's team? Minus Fetty.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's like, what it reminds me of a little bit? I mean, we can do Chicago comparison, but when the Cubs went on their big Theo rebuild, in 2012, they had the most losses, and the 2013 team was way worse because Rizzo didn't hit, Castro didn't hit. They didn't have that 2012 team had Dempster in the beginning, guys like that they end up trading. And that's kind of what this team reminds me of, because they have you look at the roster at the beginning of the year, there's no talent almost. And the talent they have isn't hitting. I mean, the guys that aren't hitting right now, it's Luis Roberts got a 528 OPS, Vaughn's 461. I mean, the guys they have that are real major leaguers and, can do things are the ones not doing, not contributing. And right now the Rule 5 guys are two of their most valuable players. So I think that tells you a lot.
John, we were going to show this tweet. We're going to save it. But since you brought it up, here, batting averages. There they are. Of the 5 worst, 3 of them are the White Sox: Robert, Vaughn, and Vargas.
Oh,
okay,
and Vargas.
That's the concern one.
I went to the Crochet. I went to the Crochet game, when he started against them, and Crochet against Vargas was one of the most overmatched. It was Vargas couldn't even touch him. Basically couldn't touch him. I mean, I think he struck him out 3 times in 12 pitches. And he was just waving at this. I really was hoping Crochet was going to get that no-hitter in that game. Would have made me happy to be there.
What, John, what's the hope? That's all I want to know. What's the hope? I know prospects, farm system, prospects, but who's the impact player of the prospects? Because I've said this numerous times. Noah Schultz is a third-year pro ball, has never pitched in a 5th inning. Not in a 5th inning, which is unbelievable in 3 years, okay? Right? Montgomery's down there struggling in AAA, right? Teal didn't get off to a great start. Kiro's obviously already there, and he's showing some signs, but is he, the catcher of the future? Or is it Teal? The pitchers, who's the pitcher? I know some of them are up already, but what's the hope? I mean, the prospects, and how long do the White Sox fans have to hold on to prospects?
I mean, it's going to be a while. I mean, I would say their best prospect in terms of impact is probably Braden Montgomery in Class A. He's the guy that was the big, I think it was what Red Sox first round pick last year they traded for. I think he's the one that's got real impact potential. So how long does it take for that guy to make a jump? Is he going to have a Cam Smith, jump to the majors soon? I think that's it. I mean, Caro, Mydrot, they look good at least. Shane Smith shows that they got, some idea what they're doing with scouting some of these overlooked guys. I mean, number 1 in the Rule 5, whatever. But that's it, AJ. I mean, they don't have any money. You know that. I mean, they don't. I think they're relying on your boat tour to provide the revenue to make this to make this come back up. It's AJ the boat.
You better
captain.
be there, John. You better be there, John.
Oh, I'm if Merck's the bartender, if Scott Merkin's the bartender, I'm.
Who would make any money then? He'd give all the drinks away for free.
Right. Every girl that comes up there between the age of 30 and 60 is going to get a free drink. So, no, I mean, is it, the HBS stuff, which I talked about with you guys, is that the hope that he's going to come in eventually and infuse some money with this team? Is it just the prospects? I mean, because they're not anywhere close to the point where like, okay, we're going to have some prospects like last time and then spend money on guys. I think right now the hope of the White Sox is, I don't know, being better than the Rockies. That's it.
Is there a noticeable shift in the type of game the guys want to play? I get it. I understand they're not hitting above 200, but it's like, to me, it looked like a lackluster leadership last year from the top, from the managerial spot. Have you been able to notice any glimpse? Because any of these prospects, anytime you talk about prospects, they have to come into a system that is already established. You can't just have Braden Montgomery come in and be like, guys, we're doing it this way. Like, do you see a shift? Has Will been able to make that shift apparent or not yet?
That's and that's funny you say that, because that's what Gaints was talking about when I talked to him at spring training, like one-on-one about this, is they've got to kind of establish some kind of White Sox identity. Listen, I just don't think the guys believed in Grifol, and I think at least Will, they're not winning much yet, but I think Will at least isn't I think he presents himself better to major leaguers. I think he's got a different kind of personality. I think guys might have a little more faith, but it's hard to say like he's implemented something when they're 5-18, through the first month. I do think from what I've heard and from what I've noticed, the mood's a little better. I mean, a lot of guys from that team are gone. So you can't really even ask guys about what happened last year because they just weren't around for it. So I think the mood's a little better. I mean, how could it be worse than last year mood-wise? Because Grifol was terrible. The team lost, 20 in a row. It just seemed like there was impending doom on the team at all times. So I think the goal this year, as sad as it is just to be a normal, bad 100-loss team that's not, going viral every few days for like incompetence or TV calls or, other catastrophes. I think it's just to like lay low and be bad. But guess what? Here's the upside, AJ, is because of the new baseball rules this year, they've got they can draft number 1 next year. How about that?
Hey, that's what we got to look forward to. Here's their, like you said, their motto is to lay low and be better than the Rockies. It's amazing. It's I just want to cry. But all right, I have 2 questions for you. You said something really interesting that they want to establish a culture in this. Isn't that Chris Getz' job? He was the farm director, so he should have kind of done that with these guys, and now he's the general manager. So is that his job? Is that Will Venable's job? And then when you answer that, I have one more question for you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's everyone's job. Right. I guess it's everyone's job. But you're right. Getz has to take some questions on that because he was the farm director. Now, I think what he will say, and what a lot of farm directors of bad teams might say, is you might think they're responsible for everything, but they're really not, because the people above them make a lot of the big decisions. Like, you'll hear a lot of farm directors say, like, yeah, this is my group, but like the president or the GM made this pick or pushed us to do this. And I think, AJ, that's the problem with the White Sox when they've had people that were there for so long, is you never really knew who was making the final decisions, or were the decisions being made in a manner that would please the people that were in charge. But listen, Getz has to take some responsibility too. But guess what? Jerry gave him the job, so it's up to him now to kind of figure it out. I will say Getz, I think, is at least – I found him to be a straight shooter. We in the media find him to be like amazingly open about stuff. So we like dealing with him. I hope that, for his sake and the White Sox sake, his vision or whatever, and working with Will, I hope it succeeds.
We all do, John. But by the way, that's like the GM. It's like, I need 5 more years to rebuild again, right? It's
right.
It's not my fault. I didn't draft the players, and I didn't.
Right.
Come on. I mean, whatever. Okay. Anyways, now one last question, John. Is it time? And I love Jerry Reinsdorf to death. Is it time? Is it time for the Ishbia brothers to come in? They already own a bunch of the team. Is it time for Jerry to finally? Because fans are clamoring for it. People all over are clamoring for it. And Jerry, it's his decision at the end of the day. But is it time for Jerry Reinsdorf to sell the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you feel for Jerry from a human side. And him. You have a personal relationship with him that I don't. So you can see that side and how much he loves baseball and how much he loves the game. I think it would be Jerry a great service to the fans for Jerry just to kind of hand it over and to kind of move out and move along, because if he really cares for the fans and wants to make things better, as he said repeatedly, then he should see that it's just time for him to go. time for him not to give up control of the team, and let someone else do it. And, and then Jerry can be remembered not only for that in the short term, but for the good things that he did do for the team and for the franchise, and not just be remembered for the chaos, especially now. Things are as low as they've been. So yeah, if I were Jerry's sons or whoever, I don't know if he takes advice from anyone besides like Tony La Russa, I would say let's get like a true like timeline to hand this over to them, kind of like what the Guardians did with David Blitzer, and they kind of put a clock on it. I know Jerry doesn't like to be told what to do or put a clock on anything. If I were him, I would do that, and I think the fans would, I wouldn't say embrace him, but I think they'd at least be happy with how he's left things.
Got it. All right. Before we go, we have to talk about the other team. We just talked about the other team in Chicago. Kratz is crying that the Reds are still going to win the division. Are the Cubs the best team in the NL Central, even with their bullpen?
Yeah, I think so. I think they have some real pitching. They got to address the bullpen, and they're going to need another starter because of Justin Steele. But, look at the lineup right now. And listen, are they all going to hit like this? But everyone is hitting except Swanson right now, which is kind of bad since he's their highest paid position player. But everyone's hitting besides him. Kyle Tucker, incredible. OPS, 1.07. Suzuki, Bush, they're all hitting. The guy that's really impressed me is Pete Crow Armstrong, because they were building him up already in Chicago, and AJ knows how that goes here. When a young player has like a good month, they want to like give him like 6 radio shows and and make him this big star, and it doesn't always work out. But Pete Crow Armstrong is really hitting, and that was like my big question mark going into the season, was what this guy can do. And Kyle Tucker, like we've seen it a lot with the Cubs, where guys come in and big stars, and I think they kind of get, I don't want to say Lester talked about this with me, John Lester, just like the pressure of being with the Cubs and being that big name guy kind of gets to guys. Kyle Tucker is awesome. He's better than anticipated. And the whole story now is whether they can afford to keep him, which is kind of sad. But yeah, I think if the Cubs can add to their pitching and they have the money to do it, I think they're absolutely the team to beat in the NL, and better than I expected them to be so far.
Came out that they'd like to extend Kyle Tucker. Well, duh.
Yeah, no kidding.
How much more have they missed the boat? It should have been, we traded for Kyle Tucker, and before he even puts on his suit coat with the jersey over top of it, we've also extended him. Is this just another example of Cubs ownership dropping the ball and not taking advantage of an opportunity? Because this man gets to free agency, we're talking $450+ million.
Well, right, because in the NFL, that happens immediately. When you make a trade like that, the extension is already done, right? I don't think Kyle Tucker wants to sign an extension, though. I don't know if he does yet. And especially since before he got here, he's going to make a lot of – why wouldn't he want to go free agency? And I know the union and the Players Association wants guys to go into free agency and to create this stir. And even though he's not a Boris guy, whatever, he's going to have some other offers. Now, the question is how many teams can afford what he's going to be looking for. So, yeah, I do think it's both cases, though, because the Ricketts family has never signed anyone close to the deal he's going to ask for. And, in fact, this team has cut payroll from last year. When they traded for Tucker, they had to sell Bellinger. They had to get rid of him. And I thought they would use that money to address pitching, and they didn't. They've gone with kind of the scrap heap with these older guys. So it's a real question whether Tom Ricketts has the interest in spending $400 million or more, $455, on any player. And with the labor agreement, going to end after 2026, a lot of people think Ricketts is going to be a real hawk in those negotiations, looking for a salary cap, because that'll benefit him as a big market owner who doesn't want to spend like the Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies.
Why not?
So
why not? They can.
Yeah,
they make plenty of money. Don't tell me they ain't making money, John. They're making more money than they know what to do with there.
AJ, this has been like the biggest discussion in Chicago, and no one can believe it. And people around baseball, if you guys talk to everyone, talk to execs when you get them off the record, ask them what they think about the Cubs, and they're not spending like they should be spending. And it's a big conversation, and people are really looking at it. And I will say this: if Kyle Tucker hits, even close to like this all year, and they don't re-sign him, and they have a chance to, it's not something where he just wants to leave. I've never seen Cubs fans this angry already about something like that, and they will be they'll be like storming Ricketts's suburban mansion if this doesn't happen.
Well, get it done.
I know we got to go, but I got to ask, just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. The new City Connect from the White Sox, is this the laziest, worst attempt at just saying we're going to give a giveaway? We're going to market a giveaway thing that we do every year and make it Bulls White Sox? Like, what do we like? For me,
Down.
Thank you, John.
I mean, it looks like something that said Jewel Osco on the side, AJ. They give to the first 5,000 fans.
I agreed. I said the same thing when I first saw them. I'm like, wow,
Okay.
they really got creative with these. They took the Bulls jersey, made a White Sox. They do a Blackhawks one every year. They do a Bulls one every year. Giveaways.
They did so well with the first one.
Right? They crushed the first one.
They did.
Yeah.
You
Oh, well.
guys, you got to keep their confidence up, okay? They're trying.
Hey,
Who?
I can't.
Somebody there.
AJ,
They're trying.
they're giving away boat hats, though. They're giving away White Sox boat hats, so I expect to see AJ wearing that when he's captaining the river cruise.
The SS Minnow,
Yeah, that's right.
3-hour cruise.
I'm a little worried about a White Sox boat cruise, but what can happen? But I'm going to go on it just for AJ.
Especially since me and Ozzy are on it
I mean,
at the same time.
yeah, I'm excited for the 05 stuff. So I got to work on a story on that. I'll give you a call, AJ. We'll hash out some of the old.
All right.
John, that was another tagline that did not get passed through this year. Get on board the sinking ship. They were like, no, we don't like that. And there's a whole cruise coming up this year. It's just not going to work.
3 cruises. There's 3 cruises, by the way. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check my Twitter, my Instagram.
You can see. You can join AJ and the 05 crew. Okay. John, great catching up with you, dude. Appreciate the time.
Hey, anytime with you guys.
Thank you. Check out John's work in The Athletic. We'll be right back. Oh, and check out his teammates at The Athletics, Dave Sharma and Patrick Mooney, Northside Territory, all over the Cubs scene. Go Cubs, go. They look pretty damn good so far this year. We'll be right back.
I hope Gilligan's on that cruise.
Hey, let's shout out Homage. They've dug into the Major League archives this spring to pull out some looks to showcase the history of every team. Oh, what do you got for us, Kratz?
I mean, just a clean, just Detroit. You got to go back and look at it's sick. It's sick. It just says Detroit on it. I like a clean shirt that just doesn't have a lot going on. This is it.
There you go. How about me today? I matched the sign.
You're just a brandman. Look at that.
I like it, though.
I do like it. Is that a mountain? Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's a better.
Yeah. I like
Made
it,
in
obviously.
America.
Made in the USA. Gotta love it. So shout out to the crew. Homage.com/foul territory. If you're a first timer on the site to shop, foul territory is the code for 20% off. There you go. There it is. Legends never die. New AL history logos unveiled. So if you want to check out that new line, go for it. Homage.com/foul territory will show off some of those shirts. Wolf Thang on the American League.
By the way, I need one of those boat captain hats, by the way.
You got to get one.
Need it.
Tell them.
Need it.
They love you.
I'm
Tell
texting
them
my
to send
people.
one.
Need it.
Thank you. AL news. Rangers looking okay. Offense has work
Corey
to do.
Seager, he gone.
What happened?
Yeah.
Hammy.
Man.
Hammy slammy.
All right.
Tight.
So they'll be missing him for a little. What's up with Jock Pederson, who was really
Dude, he's
good
0 for
last year?
41, bro. That is I don't know. I don't even know what to say. If I was 0 for 41, there'd be a lot of bad feelings going on.
There are. The MLB record, Chris Davis, 0 for 54 run. So he's in an 0 for 41 skid.
Oh, my gosh. Robin Ventura started 0 for 40-something his career.
His first,
he was like 0 for 42 or something. In his big league debut, his first 2 weeks. Wow. And they kept running him out there, and he turned out okay.
Yeah, he did. Turned out very good. For Jock, he's 0-3-0 on fastballs.
Which was his reason he was brought in, because he could hit fastballs.
I know. So is it a problem? Is it more of a problem when it's a fastball because you're not catching up to velo?
Yeah. If you can't hit a fastball, you're screwed, Kratz. Tell him. If you can't hit a fastball, you're screwed in the big leagues.
There's no way you can hit in the big leagues if you can't hit a fastball. I'm not saying guys don't sit on breaking balls. I'm saying if you can't hit a fastball, pitchers are just going to knock the bat out of your hand. Jock will turn it around. This ain't real.
All right, let's hit a legendary Arena Club segment. So here's the game we're going to play. I was on a radio station the other day, the fan in Atlanta, and they asked this, and I'm like, I'm going to use this. 3 players you start your team with. Treat it as you can take anyone in baseball, and then you're taking 1, 2, 3. Any players. The money is not a factor. You just pluck 3 players.
See, we did this differently, though. I want to preface this. I did it as like we were doing a draft, and they were supposed to be in a certain order. Like if the 3 of us were going to do a draft, and you said, okay, any 3 players, and I was trying to build a real team.
Okay.
You did this where you're trying to build a fantasy team that's not a real team.
No, I want it to be a real team.
Well, you can't have the same person as me, though, because I drafted ahead of you.
That's not how I'm doing it. I'm just saying you can pick 3 players that you want. Why does it matter if you and me have the same player in our dream team that we're building? It doesn't matter.
That wasn't the assignment I was given.
We're arguing. We didn't even start yet. Erik, you go first.
Okay. I picked Adley Rutschman.
Okay.
Sandy
In this
Alcantara.
In this order?
No, just the 3.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Sandy Alcantara and Gunnar Henderson. To me, I'm set up the middle when I do this. I obviously have been high on the Orioles, so I take 2 Orioles. But I think Gunnar Henderson's not only one of the top 2 shortstops in the game, but I think he's a top 5 player in the game. And he's young. I can build around that. I can build around a shortstop. I have a pitcher in Sandy Alcantara. Now, I thought I was going to take Hunter Brown, but I said maybe that's a little more recency bias. When Alcantara gets his full health back, and I know he said he wants to still pitch like he's not injured the year before, but when he's fully healthy, he wants the ball every single day. He doesn't care about his strikeouts. He doesn't care about anything but winning. Talking to him, this is the type of young pitcher that I want. And he's not super young, and I could have taken Skenes. I get that. But this guy has done it, and he is a guy that can anchor rotation, and Adley will lead them all. Adley Rutschman, behind the dish, catching is super important to me, and I think he's one of the best ones out there.
Okay, that's fair. Fine. He's Oriole heavy. He's going homer.
My quick question here, okay? First off, with Alcantara, don't you feel like there's other pitchers right now that are better than him, like Skubal and Skenes?
Yeah.
And you're building this for the long term? I love him, but why did you overlook them?
Why did I? Because I was going after a guy who has done it, and maybe less the recency bias of him being hurt. Something about his mentality, because we're not playing a 3-on-3 tournament here. We're playing, you have to build around a team. And there is the level of respect that I have for Sandy, just from talking to him 2 different times. He is that guy that I would want to build around. Is he the best pitcher in the game? Absolutely not. That's the route I was going.
Okay.
That's fair. Want me to go?
Yep.
Okay, so I did mine a little different. I did mine like a draft, like if we were going to do a draft, okay? And in this order is how – so I take Bobby Witt Jr. first.
Okay.
Because he can kind of do it all. Plays shortstop, which is super important to me. Can hit for power, can run, plays unbelievable defense, okay? My next guy I took was Cal Raleigh, big dumper. Because platinum glove winner, catcher, plays every day, which is super duper important to me. Yes, Adley plays, but he DHs. Cal Raleigh, he catches every day, and he's already got 100 homers. He's on, plus he's signed, I know contracts don't matter, but switch hitter, like Adley, plays every single day, knows how to handle a pitching staff, wants to play every day. And then third, you can say whatever you want, but again, I thought this was like round 1, round 2, round 3. I took Logan Webb. Why? Because you know what? He's super reliable. He takes the ball every 5th day. 33, 32 starts the last 3 years. He's got a 3.3 ERA in his career. He takes the ball. He gets ground balls, which Bobby Witt can go field, right? And he thinks farts are funny, which farts are always funny. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're never going to not be funny. So I had to add him in there. And I know it's a little bit off the beaten path, but I like guys that take the ball every 5th day. He doesn't have an injury history. And why not Skenes or Skubal? Skubal, I know, has been great, but he also hurt his arm before. Skenes hasn't pitched enough yet. I need to see him make 30-plus starts and do it for a whole year, whereas Logan Webb has done it for a long time. And I think if you start off an organization with those three guys, you can build around those three guys. Webb's going to get sinkers, Witt's going to field them, and Cal Raleigh knows how to catch it and throw the dudes out when they steal.
Okay.
So I did it different. We all kind of did this different.
Yeah, we did. And also keep in mind that you have to build really a 40-man roster these days, so you don't know what the rest of this all looks like. You're just picking what you think is important to you. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me,
farts are funny is important to me. Just
right, exactly.
If you haven't seen the video, people go look at it.
Yeah, look it up. It's your team. You get to do what you want with it and see what happens. For me, Shohei Ohtani is the best player on the planet right now. He hits. He should pitch again. Even if he doesn't, I think he would be an elite outfielder. So I'm good there. Best player on the planet. Should be the case. Still 4 years to come. Bobby Witt Jr. for me. Shortstop, all-around player. This isn't a draft. No one ever made that rule. That's a fake rule.
Picked ahead of you.
So I've got Ohtani and Witt. That's a good start. I've got a pitcher, a DH, a future outfielder. Okay, whatever. A future outfielder. Guys, don't start knocking Shohei Ohtani.
We're not, but as a pitcher, I can knock him because he doesn't pitch.
Fine. Okay.
We're knocking what you said, not Shohei.
Yes.
Okay. Best hitter, eventual elite outfielder. Could be a pitcher still this year. He's going to pitch. Bobby Witt Jr., all-around player. Kind of easy one. Retweeting what AJ said. Third one for me, I'm like, who do I want with one at bat in a postseason game or just all-year consistency, plays every day, the whole deal? Highest paid player in baseball. I'm taking Soto. I actually was thinking about Tucker a little bit because he's much more of an all-around player. But for me, I went with Soto. I'm like, take that. Witt, Ohtani, Soto. All year and in the playoffs. Yes, Judge was in consideration as well. He's a little bit older. For me, one at bat for my life, I'm going Soto over Judge, especially in the playoffs right now. I think that Soto is a tougher out, right? He's either going to get on base or he's going to do something clutch. So those are my three, okay? I still got myself premium bats. I've got a potential ace pitcher. And if not an elite outfielder, I've got my shortstop up the middle, and then I'll figure out the rest. You guys are catchers. You focused on that. I love catchers too. But I'm okay getting a really good receiver who's not a great hitter, and he's towards the bottom of my lineup. I don't think that we're in a point right now in an era where there are these insane superstar catchers. So for me, I wasn't going to go there based on the talent pool right now.
Okay. Cal Raleigh argues with you.
Okay.
By the way, I love when guys we have on the show, Homer and Jahan, just went Yahtzee, so he needs to come back on again.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Henry Malloy, but in case no one knows who Jahan is, but
yes, he is
awesome.
A big FT fan, and he's a great dude, and maybe a future host on FT in 10 years. What's wrong with my list?
You did fantasy draft. Kratz and I were actually trying to build an organization.
I can build an organization with those three players.
You can't pay them all, though. You're the Cubs. You can't pay them all.
What was the first rule I put in the text group this morning, Kratz?
No matter the money. I think it has to be less of a. We need parameters because you're sitting there going, who do I want with one at bat and the play? Like, are you playing for just this year? Are you building the team for just this year? I had more of a long.
Who's going to pitch? You got no pitcher.
Standing.
You're going to fill out the rest of your
no
roster.
Pitcher, Scott. You got no pitcher.
You're giving up a lot of runs.
I'm just worried about this year. What about 2026? Oh, and you got who's going to pitch game 2 and game 3? That's not how this works.
I got one game.
One game. Franchise players.
I'll take my guy. I'll take Kratz and I's team over yours.
This is for years to come.
Because we can at least get somebody out.
Ohtani can get people out. He can.
Let's put it this way. You have to be.
Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll.
I don't.
Yeah. YouTube poll. Which team do you like the best? Okay. And some people are participating. You want me to give you some answers from our fans?
Sure.
Okay. Ellie said Skenes, Soto, Witt.
Okay.
That was good. And I was considering a pitcher, and
But again, we all did it different ways, right? So, like, I thought it was like a draft, and I thought Kratz did his thing, and I don't know what you were thinking.
Ricky said Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Churio, Paul Skenes. He's definitely playing the long game. Yep. Alex,
you have to when you do this and you pick 3 guys. If you're picking for a whole organization and a whole team, I have a hard time not picking the central location. If there's an elite center fielder in the game, I have to take an elite center fielder. Catching, I gotta be solid behind a dish and shortstop, and then you have to have that starting pitcher that's going to start game one of your playoffs. And I think that's if your team isn't built around that, that's tough to build a team around if it's not those positions.
Okay.
Find me a good team that doesn't have a catcher. Scott's team's not good. He doesn't have a catcher.
Does it need to be an elite hitter?
See that look I just got? That was perfect.
Scott took care of DH. The position that every organization has a DH in AAA that's going to hit 30 homers, but he took care of DH because he took the best hitter, and he thinks he's also going to pitch.
He took the biggest contracts. He just wanted to take the biggest contracts because money is no object. That's all he wanted to do, is just take the biggest contract.
He's a contractman.
Ohtani, Soto. Witt's not up there with the rest. I mean, he's got a big contract.
It's a big
What are you guys trying to find a bargain? The numbers are all the same. Everything's zero right now. We're just
trying to find bargains.
And I'm projecting forward.
We're not talking about bargains.
And by the way, talking about money. Also,
by the way, producer lady made the rules, not you.
Third place.
What? I don't even. I still wait. This is how we should cap this. I sit
no
next
cap,
to
Scott.
AJ.
You're capping right now.
I genuinely don't understand what you're talking about with the draft thing. Like you said, Logan Webb round 3. You don't know who else got taken. What is this draft you're talking? Like who said Logan Webb is this?
Well, there's 30
rounder?
teams. There's 30 teams.
But you're just making up like how
you said
the
if I
order
want to
would
run
go.
my
well, Logan's
producer
still here.
lady said if you got to pick a team, then pick a team. And I'm assuming there's 29 other teams, not just one team.
But my point is,
so I was like, okay, well, first, if I have the first pick, I'm going to take Witt because it's shortstop. And then by the time it gets back to me, Cal will still be there and then it gets back to me again.
So you're saying with like the...
See, I'm doing it like a real life. You're doing it like Moneyball.
Right. You're saying like, let's say...
never won.
With the 60-something
You're doing Moneyball that never won. I'm doing real life.
The 60-something pick was Logan Webb. But wait, in your fantasy world, what if someone grabbed him at 48? You're just like, well, Webb's still here. We're at pick number 64 now. Like, you just made it up.
That's right.
That's why it's fun, though.
It's my world, Scott. You're just living in it.
That's your world. My world has
snake
these
draft.
3.
It was a snake draft.
And
I had the first pick, and then it snaked around to me, and I had like 61, 62.
I'm excited to face you guys in the playoffs with my team.
With your no pitching and catching.
You know what we should do? Should we do this where we actually draft teams based on
off-season.
The money's no object?
Yeah, based on how you build a team and what it looks like. Well, no, that's like what a fantasy draft is.
Can I bring in a special guest picker?
Why? Because you just don't want to do it?
Yeah, pretty much. This is take
Who
too
are you
long.
bringing in? Gets he?
No, probably not. Probably not. Maybe.
AJ just simulates the draft, and he's like, well, I guess Logan Webb's available.
Yep. Nailed it. Crushed it. Sorry that you guys don't like the Giants. Once a Giant, always a Giant. Scott, do you have a Giants bobblehead? I think not. Is your number retired by the Giants? I think not.
I like my bobblehead.
Look, 36. Last guy to wear it. There it is. Boom.
I hit almost as good as Jock Pederson is hitting for the Rangers. I hit almost as good for the Giants, so that we have that connection.
There you go. Exactly. All right. Well, lastly here,
there it is.
We showed you
Boom.
a few cards.
I'm winning 100% of the vote.
Your team, we simulated the season. Your team won, and we simulated to 30-89, and the world ended. There was like a meteor or something. Anyway, Shohei Ohtani, Topps Chrome 2024, Aqualava Refractor was on there, a Bowman Megabox Chrome 2017er, and also a Gunnar Henderson 2023 Topps Chrome Logo Refractor Edition, Yellow Refractor Gem Mint 10. Boom, I said that so quickly. But thanks to Arena Club for helping to put this together. arenaclub.com/foul. Use code FOUL for 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase. FT fam, we'll try and get back on track next with bits.
The only person who needs to get back on track is you.
I'm good. I'm winning. I already won the World Series with my team. I thought that was fun.
It was
something
fun.
different.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Better than power rankings.
Right. We're trying to find segments that you like. You liked that one? You were okay with that one?
Yeah, we just need to get a little more clear on the rules. Maybe we need producer lady to be a little more clear.
I texted this morning and felt like it was pretty clear. You can
you
have
didn't text
any
it.
3 players.
Claudia texted, didn't she?
Oh, maybe she did. I don't know. But
oh my god!
you can have any 3 players.
The
Money's
rules
not a
are
factor.
I'm
elastic.
going to
Who do you
read
want?
the text. Let me go find
Let's
the text.
read the text. This is what goes on in the mornings.
The
Claudia
rules
sends
are
a text at
elastic.
like 5 a.m. because she's an early riser.
From producer lady. Hello again. I would love if you would give 3 players that you would take to start a team, not factoring in their contracts. Then off that, how deep down would your roster would it take for you to add a catcher pitcher to your team you're starting?
So this was the follow-up question we didn't get to. This was what was going on. I was on that Atlanta radio show the other day, and we were like, 3 players, any of them in baseball. Money doesn't matter. Which 3 do you want to start your team? Later on, we were like, how deep would you have to go down your list to start picking a pitcher? And then especially how deep would you have to go down your list to pick a catcher? And some of this did have to do with what the catching talent looks like right now. It's good. Do you think we're in like a golden era of catchers that are just
you got to grab a
slugging
catcher early.
their
That's
ass
why.
off?
It's like a kicker when you do fantasy football. You grab your kicker in defense way early.
I actually think it's the opposite right now because you can find some elite receivers, whatever, right? Like elite game callers, elite even guy arms, all of that. No,
I disagree. They're very hard to find. Tell them, Kratzy.
You can fill your roster with great game callers and elite receivers, but if you're talking about like a golden era of catchers, no, I don't think so. Like shortstop and catcher are unique in the sense that big league starting catchers are way different than people who start at catcher in the big leagues.
I'm just saying there's some pretty good receivers that just aren't great hitters. And for me right now, there's not a ton of catchers where you're like, that's the best hitter on the team.
Both, that's the dude you need.
Sure. I think that we're not in an era right now where you're looking and you're like, this guy's a superstar. He's the best hitter in the sport, or he's one of the best. Like, how deep do you have to go down a list of catchers
That's
as
never
bats?
happened.
It's happened.
That's why catchers are always undervalued because their WAR is again, we'll go back to stupid WAR. WAR is compared to the rest of the league, and there should be a catcher WAR versus a catcher WAR because in OPS plus and all that should be catcher versus catcher, not catcher versus outfielder.
I agree.
And that's
with that.
where catchers get scrutinized.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I say OPS plus for a catcher, you need to look differently.
Name me a catcher who is the most elite hitter in the game.
All right, let's hit the injury updates. Here's one for Pablo López, eligible to come off the IL Thursday. Twins announced that they are starting Chris Paddock against the White Sox. That seemingly makes it extremely likely that López will rejoin the rotation.
Ducking the White Sox. I can't blame you, Pablo. That lineup, you're ducking them.
Classic move. You don't want to bring them back against the Sox. But that's good news that López is coming back soon because the Twins need to get moving.
Twins need to get moving.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But that's good news. That's injuries, and on that front, the injuries don't suck.
Yeah, well, this one does. So we alluded to it earlier in the show, but Martin Pérez is not having Tommy John surgery, but he could be throwing again in September, according to Jesse Rogers, but for all practical purposes, his year is over. Did they ever officially announce the diagnosis? So I guess he's not having surgery. I don't know. I didn't feel like I got
He's not because they said it was just a forearm strain, but he possibly could need Tommy John, but he's trying to hold off, which I guess, he's older. So if he has Tommy John, he'd miss next year.
Right.
So it's kind of like one of those, if he can get through it, then maybe he could pitch next year. But I don't know. It sucks. That injury sucks because Martin's a good fella and you just don't want to see that, especially at an advanced age.
I agree.
He's 34. And we've seen guys, though, as pitchers, and he's certainly not a velo guy, go under the knife and then come back and still pitch for a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he's got to go through another year of rehab. He's going to miss all of next year. See, he's trying to avoid that if he can. Mm-hmm. Hopefully sign another. If he comes back and proves he can pitch in September, maybe he gets another 1 year, $5 million, something like that. And then if he needs surgery, he can do it next year.
Right.
So
he was off to a decent start too.
Yeah, his last outing.
5 ERA, 20 innings, 18
His last
days.
outing, he got whacked pretty good.
Yeah.
He was
It spiked
dealing
up.
with
It's the numbers: 20 innings, low 3 ERA.
How many starts?
4.
4.
It's early. Yeah. So what? 3 good ones and 1 bad one, basically, is what happened. So, okay. Well, it is what it is. Coming up next, Rowdy Tellez is going to join us soon. Now, this is timely because Rowdy's on a team that played the Blue Jays this past weekend. He wanted to get a little revenge, and I feel like he got revenge in almost every way possible. There was a lot from that series, so I want to find out about the sign stealing, the truck stick move at first, and the success for Rowdy as well against Toronto. So if you look forward to those conversations, we're going to talk to Rowdy soon. We'll be right back. Okay, Kratz, starting to get hot. Texas won yesterday. I didn't hit my over, and you hit one of your overs.
Easy, too.
Cincinnati.
Yeah. Easy money.
But that lineup's got some swing and miss.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's let Kratz go first since he's hot right now. We're not going to show that.
The money bags.
It's okay.
Pap's on a heater. Pap was down a lot to start the year. This is how it works.
That's how it was last year. And then I'm a slow starter.
Mm-hmm.
I need the weather to warm up, and then I go.
Get it going. Well, I'm going on the fact that the Red Sox strike out the fourth most. They're facing Emerson and Hancock. As a team, they strike out over 9 times a game. They're facing a bullpen with the Mariners that will probably be in the game a lot. That strikes a lot of dudes out. So I'm going over strikeouts at 7.5. Over strikeouts for the Red Sox, 7.5, and it's paying plus 110.
Boom. There you go. I'll go too. I got the Royals run line. I'm throwing down $500. They're plus 118 to win by 2 runs or more. They're taking on the Rockies. KC with a 4-3 win yesterday in extras. But they've been good at home. I mean, it's a slow start, but this is the kind of series where they can get back on track against the worst team in baseball right now, the Rockies, who are 1-12 on the road. Their offense is garbage on the road. Marquez was really good in that first outing back in late March, and then he's been bad since. Michael Lorenzen should give you solid innings. This is the kind of offense that he should do well against. He's all over the zone. So I've got them winning by 2 runs or more at plus 118. Go for it.
Me? I'm changing mine because I think mine's wrong. I sent it in wrong. So
then hold it. So we'll work on it we can do it in the next break.
Yeah, I think I did the wrong one.
Okay. So we can work on it. We'll take our time.
Reboot.
Yeah, apologies. I think I wanted Kratz's, but I think I sent it to producer lady wrong. So when next break, we'll have to discuss mine.
Okay.
So apologies,
That's
people.
fine. Hey, Kratz, real quick. I think we've got hitters in baseball, or among the best hitters in baseball.
Posey was up there.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Piazza, although that era is hard to judge, but he had some time when
Why
he
is
was
it hard to judge?
That whole era. I mean, there are plenty of catchers that are under PED suspicion.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's talk Seattle Mariners for a couple minutes, and then we'll bring in their first baseman, Rowdy Tellez. What do we think of Seattle right now? 12-10. George Kirby's not back yet. That's going to help. The offense has been better than last year.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. Go ahead, Kratz. Speak, and then I'll go because I was trying to fix my bet, which has been now.
This is what we expect out of the Mariners, in the sense that, like, they have this rotation, they have the ability to not only have a great bullpen, but then they stack other guys into that bullpen. So they have so much depth. What do we think of the start? I mean, I think it's been 2 years now that this is what Scott has expected out of his Mariners, and they've slowly disappointed every year. Maybe an extra year. To me, I really think an extra year of this lineup hitting together has an opportunity to improve. Again, I really think JP Crawford J.P. Crawford playing at short. I really think if he stays healthy, this team just gets a spark out of him. He's hitting ninth. I get it. But they get a spark out of him. So to me, I think they can put it together. And if they even put a semblance of it together offensively, this staff will carry this team to wherever they need to go.
So I know I used OPS Plus earlier. I lost the page. I'm on weighted runs created plus. They're usually within a few points of each other. It's a very similar statistic. For teams in the top 5 this year, number 1, Yankees, number 2, Cubs, number 3, A's, number 4, Seattle. For offense.
They're doing better.
That's much better.
Much better. Their pitching's been a little bit down, surprisingly.
Yeah. But the bats have picked it up so
better.
far. Yeah.
Yep.
When you get a full season of Randy Rosarena there, actually what's a big help? Julio Rodriguez, the last couple of years, has started super, super slow. Now, his batting average is not pretty, but he's making hard contact. So it's better than it was the last couple of years. And if you follow the trends and you think that he always picks up steam once it gets a little warmer, then he's not in a hole right now, right? He's an above average hitter from metrics at the moment. So, he's hitting $191, but it's working.
Hello?
Anyway.
Who's there?
Yes, who's there? Let's
Can you hear me?
Answer the door. We got you, dude. Rowdy Tellez joining us right now. How's life?
It's good. I'm just hanging out here in Fenway.
That's why you wanted to hit early. You wanted to hit early because you wanted to see and listen to the balls come off the bat in Fenway and whack some balls off the green monster. I get it.
No, I hit in the cage.
So all the people can watch you? All the people can watch you in the bar right there?
It's not even open. What do you – both you guys know
Always
better.
open in center field? It's always open.
I hit in the cage. The cage is like in a tunnel.
You didn't hit in the cage. You hit on the field. You're an outside fieldman.
No, I don't. I don't hardly ever hit on the field.
All right,
Why not?
Shohei.
Okay. This is a house that AJ ruined. I was going to be nice today, but then both you guys came in pretty hostile, and I'm not dealing with it today.
No, who was hostile? I just asked if you hit in the cage where the bar is, where the people stand there and watch you while you're hitting. How is that a hostile question?
No, because you were insinuating something else.
No, I wasn't.
I don't know what it was.
You hit in the cage. I said with all the people watching.
Why are you so hostile today?
Yeah, is Tristan Casas out there doing his yoga? Can you show us the outfield? Is he out there with no shirt on and no shoes on and a hood on?
No, he's actually hitting right now. Looks like.
Oh, so
there you go.
He's not an insidesman.
No, but I have seen a couple things. Did you guys see Terry Francona do that the other day, I think?
No.
What did he do?
I saw it on TV. I don't know if it was the other day, but I saw on TV him without a shirt the other day. It's kind of funny.
Oof.
For his birthday.
Do it.
That was his birthday?
It was his birthday.
Right?
Yeah,
it was his birthday.
Yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yesterday.
Rowdy, how was Toronto? How was the series?
It was good. I mean, it took 2 or 3. It was nice to be back. It's always fun to go back there and see familiar faces. There's just not a lot of guys left. I've only played with Bo and Vlad were the only 2 guys left there that I played with, but good to see everybody's always good.
Did you feel like, here's your classic broadcaster question, did you feel like you were amped for a series like this because you've got, emotional connection to playing there?
I wouldn't say that, but we did have communication with him in the off season, and it was a destination that was a possibility to go, and I ultimately ended up here and happy to be here, and so it was kind of like just a little bit of like, hey, I can still do it. So
how close were you to going there? How close were you to signing back there this offseason?
Not very close, but it was like a team that reached out and they kind of said, oh, we don't really have time for you type of thing. They were waiting on Pete Alonso, and then when Pete didn't sign, they had tried to get some other guys, and then by then I was with Seattle, so I wouldn't say it was like crazy close, but it was definitely a team that reached out and had communication more than once.
Is that why you tried to kill a man at first base? Or is that just what you do? Is that just what you do? You're just that much of a unit that nobody can even run you over. I mean, Rodin didn't even do nothing to you, and you dropped that man, and then you tagged him afterwards like he was – what a video. Like he was going to be out.
And you kicked his helmet.
I did not kick his helmet. See, this is what I'm talking about. There you go. I'll tell you what, I wanted to kick his helmet. That's why I walked right next to him. I was going to punt it. But
Why?
No, the throw just took me in the line, and for a physics major like he is, you would think that he would know those things that, when a littler person tries to run over somebody that's bigger, it's not going to go well. But he was okay. I mean, I think for what had happened, it could have been worse. Like a good thing I wasn't traveling forward or momentum going forward or anything. I was trying to get out of the way. So, but ultimately he was okay. I think knocked the wind out of himself pretty good. But yeah, I told my pitcher, I'm like, hey, I told you guys I would get run over for you guys, but I didn't say that the other kid was going to be okay. But yeah,
that was a tough catch. That was a tough catch. You had to catch it on the other side of the runner. Like that's something that you see a lot of first basemen who are like on big contracts, kind of short arm and let that John go into right field. You have to earn your spot, and you're like, nah, I'm going to go get it on the other side of the runner. So hat tip from me for hanging in there and making that play, because a lot of dudes give the old like Ricky Waters, nope, hold my arm back and just let someone else go get it.
No, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. We got to get outs. Sometimes it happens. I thought I could get out of the way, but sometimes I forget how big I actually am. Kind of nimble over there.
You're not spry, but did you go up to Cal Raleigh and say, I'm big dumper now after taking that dude out with your dumper?
No. I give him a new name every day for that thing back there. Big backside, BBL, whatever can come to mind that day is what I give him. But no, I still got a flat ass. So.
Hey,
how many squats?
What would have happened?
It doesn't matter.
Hey, I want to know, because I text you and I told the story. What would have happened if I would have run your ass over? Then what? You wouldn't have kicked my helmet.
No, they'd have stretchered you off.
There's no chance. No chance.
Yeah. You tried to run. You want me to tell a story?
I read the text right live. I've told the text right on the air, live. On the air. I said it.
Read it again. I said it wouldn't go well for you.
I said, you're lucky that I wasn't the one running. And you said, ha ha, you're lucky.
Yeah, you're lucky. If it was you, you'd be face down in the ground.
No.
I wouldn't even have tried to catch the ball. I would have just put an elbow right in your jugular.
See, but we would have won the game.
That's good.
And I would have been on third.
Yeah.
No. You'd have been eating out of a trachea for a week.
Rowdy, should we have competitions? No, I'm not saying us
give me
three.
Give me boxing gloves. Give me boxing gloves.
I'm talking
and AJ's
about
face. We're going at it.
Like back in the day, they used to compete.
And you're tired.
They used to have dudes that would compete in like different competitions. Baseball guys are always like, they're always talking smack, like you two are talking smack to each other. Should we have some type of like wide world of sports competition where like anybody can join? It's like 5 different events, boxing, wrestling, whatever, shooting hoops, and see who the best athlete is in Major League Baseball.
Ooh, that would be good. Do some stuff that like we don't ever really get to do.
Right.
There's the age-long debate on who the best athletes are. I said baseball players are able to play the most sports. I never said we were the most athletic, but I do think we are capable of playing the most sports at a pretty high level. Just because I think baseball is the hardest sport to play. So I think, we can catch footballs, we can throw footballs pretty well. Most of us are pretty good at shooting hoops. Soccer, I don't know if the running aspect's really in the cards for us, but golf, definitely. But, I think we can play the most sports. But, yeah, you'd got to do, like, obscure sports. Like ESPN The Ocho type stuff.
Yes,
Dodgeball.
beer pong.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, beer pong.
Baseball players would be good at dodgeball.
War.
Yeah. Wait, I got one.
Rochambeau.
I got one. Were you guys ready to throw down with the Jays over the sign-stealing accusations against your boy Cal?
Yeah, I don't know what happened because I was the one that was hitting, and I punched out on like 3 pitches. So I don't know how that really worked, but
Did he tell you the wrong ones on purpose?
yeah, I think so. I think he was jealous of my haircut. I don't know. I don't know what happened because then when you look at it and you read lips, it looks like he says I didn't have him, and then Barrios says okay, and then kind of just fizzled out. I don't know what was going on, but I don't know. That was the second game of the series. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, if we had the signs, 2 things: I missed it, and I missed the ball. So we definitely didn't have the signs.
Do you guys talk about that? Trying to steal signs? Do you talk about trying to see like the teams that use, because the Braves they're still using signs. So do you try to do guys talk about like trying to, I think I know which button he's hitting. Do you guys talk about that on the bench, or is that kind of just fizzled out?
No, I mean, most of those catchers cover up the buttons. And then there's only like 1 or 2 teams that even use signs. That's what I said. All these pitch comms that don't work, they're always like, I need a new one. I'm like, whatever happened to just 1 heaters, 2's curveball, wiggles, a changeup? Every pitcher has 14 pitches now, so probably need an extra hand for sweepers and cutters and 2 seamers and 1 seamers and rise balls and I don't know. But yeah, I can't really get it from the catcher.
They're running out of buttons, Rowdy, is the problem.
Well, I just don't get it then. Like, why do you think that you think they were just trying to start something? Like, why do you think a modern team would be looking at this scenario and looking back and thinking Cal's doing that? And then also, like you mentioned, looking at the results of the 4th, I think, and the 5th inning or something like that. And it's not like you guys, had put a 10 spot on them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, honestly, I mean, it's something that trying to figure out too. Like, Pérez was throwing a good game, so it wasn't like we were doing anything. He was throwing a good game, and I think he had made like 1 mistake all game, maybe 2, because Ben ended up hitting a home run. But yeah, I don't know. I think there was just maybe a little frustration, or I know in 2022 there was a big series against them, and in the playoffs, or to go to the playoffs or something, and that could still be a build-up, but I wasn't there for that. So I honestly don't know. It caught me off guard because I think I was going to the bathroom. I think I was taking a leak, and I came running out of the bathroom because everybody was like yelling. I was just walking back up the steps. So, it caught me off guard. I'll tell you that.
Is that why you weren't in that video trying to get at Vlad Jr.? Because he took his glove off, and I didn't see Rowdy anywhere in that video we just showed.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to be honest with you.
Watch.
Even when I got out,
Vlad dropped his glove like, let's go.
Yeah.
No, he did not. He just didn't want to have his glove on.
Watch, right here, watch. He's like, all right, see?
I played with Vlad, and I've known Vlad for years. There's no way he's throwing a punch. He's too nice of a guy.
Did Cal talk about how much he kills the Blue Jays? Did he talk about it before the series? Like, man, these guys, I'm their daddy. We talked about it on the bench. We were talking about just like pitchers that you had success off of and stuff like that. And he was like, I asked him, I was like, who's your like team? Like playing in the NL Central all those years. Like, I was like, you get to face all these people, but he's played in the AL his whole career. And he doesn't. So that doesn't mean he has a ton of games against the Blue Jays, but he said that he has like 9 or 10 homers, and he just really likes facing them. And I was like, everybody's got one. Everybody's got a team that they just love to face. So he did say he does like facing the Blue Jays.
Do you like facing the Blue Jays after 3 homers in 3 games?
It's not terrible. I mean, if that's the result every time you play him, then I think you got to take that. But no, somewhere where I'd hit before, spent a lot of time in the Rogers Center, so you kind of
Was the guy
It's
there?
different when you.
Was the kid there? He's
Excuse
not
me?
a kid, but he's the guy who asked for all your batting gloves and your jockstrap and your tennis shoes and your 8th grade prom picture and all that stuff. Is he still in Toronto? I haven't been to Toronto for a while.
Is he a fan?
Yeah, he's a fan that's during batting break. He's like, hey, can I get your batting gloves?
Mark.
Can I get your
Mark.
Is that his name, Mark? Hey,
Mark.
Rowdy,
No,
can I get your batting gloves?
No, he wasn't there, or he just doesn't like
Oh,
me.
bummer.
One of the two.
Oh, his
No, you
voice.
hear him.
I'll never forget his voice. Hey, Alex Rios, welcome back. The whole batting practice.
Oh, geez.
I love you, Alex Rios. Can I have your batting gloves? Oh, man, wore me out. But, Rowdy, tell me about Dylan Moore, player of the week. Did he buy you anything?
No, we bought him stuff.
What'd you buy him? Did you buy him dinner?
No, we went to a team dinner and we got him a cake because he's like super, super healthy. So we bought him a cake and he had like 2 bites and then tried to pass it off. And then a bottle of wine or something like that. Maybe Dan bought him one. But no, I mean, he's a big part of this team. Not super vocal, but a very good leader. You know, he's going to do whatever you ask him to do. He shows up every single day, ready to go. You know, he's a really, really big part of this team. And I don't think he gets enough credit for it.
I agree. Yeah, fun guy to root for. Yeah, we had a long combo with him a couple months ago. We did in spring training. Rowdy, good luck out there in Boston with those awesome fans. Have fun, man. We'll catch you in a few weeks.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate you. Rowdy Tellez on FT.
FT fam, my people of FT, all my FT gamblers, what's up? It's Parlay Pap today coming to you with the pick. Today, let me tell y'all something, folks. This is going to be some easy cheese, right? We're going for that easy pickings today, that low-hanging fruit. So, we got the Kansas City Royals, Colorado Rockies. I mean, I cannot not take the Kansas City Royals today. I mean, this blows my mind, but run lines at plus 118 and over 3.5 runs is at minus 225. So we're going to parlay that together, put it at plus 145. We're going to put 200 on it. We're going to win 290, I think. So that's what we call a lesson for today, easy cheese. Peace.
Nice.
I like that guy. We think alike.
Yeah, I like that. I can't argue with that. He didn't pick the Twins today. They play
Bless
the
you.
White Sox. That's normally his go-to. So I'm proud of you, Pap.
Yeah, he
Good lesson.
completely avoided that.
Right? I know. That's crazy.
I think the White Sox have a shot today. Got to be careful.
So do the Rockies.
There's a new team to pick on.
So do the Rockies. That's why I wore my purple.
Everybody's going to at least win.
You win 60, you lose 60. It's what you do with the wait, no, except not all teams.
Not last year. Not even close.
Okay, I got to get to my pick before we get.
Yes.
So I originally wanted Boston batters over 7.5 punch-outs.
Okay.
I sent it wrong and I sent Seattle, but I meant Boston. And then I wanted the Rockies over 7.5. And that would have got me to like plus 210 or something. But now, since it got locked for some reason and it got taken off the board because too many people were rolling with me. Okay, now we're going Boston batters over 7.5 and Giants batters, who they strike out a lot, over 9.5 against full menu Freddie Peralta, our guy. And that gets me to plus 310. I'm betting 300 to get back in the positives. Let's ride.
Let's go. Wow. 300 to win 930.
You should get me back in the pluses.
Nice. San Francisco
Strikes
let me
out
down.
a lot.
I know they do. They let me down the other day, but I like it.
And I even wore my purple for the Rockies today.
Well, it's for me then.
Bold
I
move,
guess.
Cotton.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. BetMGM account holders, you can get an any sport parlay boost token today. Score a bigger payout if your wager with the parlay boost token hits, and those tokens can be used on parlays or same game parlays. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Be right back for Slap Hands. AJ got part of his dream today because we didn't have Kratz kind of for the first few minutes. Tomorrow, the dream continues. I'm out. And
Where are you?
Friday, going away.
Thank God.
Parts unknown.
Huh.
Parts unknown.
Can we stay? Can you stay there?
Yeah, if you want. You want me to do the show from there?
Just stay there. They have internet.
One day.
They have internet there.
I don't know. That's why I'm not doing the show there.
Oh, perfect.
One day, AJ for the entire show. Should we do it, Kratz? Just AJ runs it?
As long as we have guests, we'll be fine. I've done it.
I
I've done
would
it
feel-
before.
No, I know. But guests only take up half
I've done
the
Jim
show.
Rome by myself before.
You hosted the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, so why don't you do that? All right,
Producer
one day.
lady
Oh,
would
it's
not
good.
be happy. Producer lady would not be happy because there would
producer
always be
lady
one
would quit.
more.
Well, that's
You
what happens when
always
people
want
say
more.
interesting stuff. When people say interesting stuff, then
You
you
wanna
have
follow
then they
up.
say something. You're like, man, I need to ask this question because it pops in your head.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
that
go
is a
into
good
these interviews with
interviewer.
anything planned, so I need to.
We know
Just-
that.
It just quickly comes up.
It just comes to you. You're a beautiful mind. Do you know who you get to chat with tomorrow? It's a good guest list. You want me to tell you?
Like I said, I don't.
First guest tomorrow, Mets manager Carlos Mendoza.
All right, I like Mendy.
Second guest tomorrow, big sexy Bartolo Colon. Where has he been?
I asked that when he played with the White Sox. He disappeared and nobody could find him. So I can ask him where he went.
Number 3, Tim Kirkjian, who is always a good time.
Mhm.
Trevor May is going to join Dodgers territory tomorrow. Kratz Hatz on the way out.
Maybe one of the sneaky teams this year that's playing really well. Good pitching staff. Just saying.
Miami Marlins.
Terrible team.
500
Water levels out.
500-ish
500.
right now. Kyle Stowers looks good.
Mhm.
I like Kyle Stowers.
Norby's got some energy. I like that guy in the lineup. I know he's not
Alcantara?
super bangering.
No, I agree. Alcantara to
Max
the
Meyer.
Cubs next month.
We
Yeah.
shall see.
We shall see. FT fam, Alana Rizzo taking over tomorrow with AJ.
Finally.
100K subs.